Jim Neighbors, he said, so I go into this one little shop, and he said, I fell in love with this carving that's the Madonna and Child. He says, I saw this and I just loved it. He says, well, it was done by this guy named Luca della Robbia. He was one of the founders of the Renaissance period in Florence, Italy. This is in the mid 1400s. They were, doing this amazing art in Florence and, of course, Rome. And so what they would do these carvings, and sometimes they would turn it into a marble, sculpture. Sometimes they would just sell it kind of like it was. And I just fell in love with it. And they said, and so I asked him, I said, well, so what did you do? He says, well, I bought it and I shipped it to my home in Beverly Hills, and it was in my study. It's one of many pieces of memorabilia we have actually from Jim Neighbors. We have this pool table that actually Michael Jackson played on, Ronald Reagan played on it, Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. and Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett, Burt Reynolds, Lonnie Anderson. I mean, all these people came and played on this pool table that is now available for our guests to play on. It's a historic table, but Michael Jackson actually played on that table. He was Jim Neighbors in his variety hour. He was the first show ever to put the Jackson 5 on national TV. And so he built this friendship with the Jackson family. And he and Michael Jackson stayed in touch kind of through Michael's life. But when he was a kid, he used to come over and play pool on that particular table.